Welcome back to Discovering the Importance of Being Earnest. We hope you enjoyed the conclusion of the play. With me is producer Travis DeCastro. Hello, Travis, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for having me.
So talk to us a little bit about your responsibilities as a producer.
The producer is a term that's used kind of generically in this case. My correct title is Associate Director for Production, which is a much fancier name for the guy who does the budgets and the calendaring for the school.
Talk to us a little bit about how you interact with other members of production staff, tech staff.
Well, theater is, it's a committee. It's a group of people that get together and they agree to work together on a production. So you have the actors that are in the show. You have the director, choreographers many times, music directors, and on the other side you've got designers. You have sound designers, lighting designers, costume designers, projection designers, scenic designers, properties designers. So our job is to bring all those people to one focus for the show,
right,
and put the show together, and it's my responsibility to make sure that that takes place.
Great, great. So how did you become involved in theater production?
How did I become involved in theater production? Well, many years ago I was on stage. My undergraduate degree, believe it or not, is in musical theater. I used to be a singer-dancer.
Oh, wow.
And after a while, you get a little older, it's a little harder to do that. And I found my passion really was more backstage than on stage, and especially in the running of things. I enjoy running these productions, so that's the interest for me now.
Oh, great, great. So walk us through the process of being a producer of the show.
Well, it begins in fall semester.
Okay.
When a group of people get together and they decide that they're going to pick the season for the School of Theater. And we meet by committee, we meet every week, and we read plays, we read suggestions of plays, we look at productions, and we take a look at the best interest for the School of Theater's students. And then we choose a season that will best reflect their needs and their interests, and that includes the design students as well, and the technicians as well. So we put together the kind of season that will satisfy everybody in the school. And then generally over Christmas, I will do the budgets and the calendar for the school, get that organized.
Right.
We will distribute that information to the directors and the designers, and then we'll start the coordination meetings where they start designing the show. Then we'll audition generally at the beginning of the next fall semester, and away we go.
Oh, great, great. So talk to us a little bit about some challenges that you've encountered through this process.
Well, for this particular show, there's one great challenge in that the director wanted a white set.
Oh, wow.
And much like your outfit there, it reflects light, right? So you put two actors next to each other, and one can blend away. You know, they can just kind of fade away. Especially if they're very pale skinned on a white set, then we could lose them entirely. So the costume designer has been challenged to create costumes that will pop out from the set.
Oh, wow.
So the actor doesn't get lost on this big white set, and then the lighting designer has a real challenge on how to light. You know, we have a very diverse company in the School of Theater. So we have people of many hues standing next to each other on a white set.
Right.
And making sure you can see all the faces is the biggest challenge of all.
Right. So how is that set design playing out right now?
Well, it's there. It is done.
Right.
It's sitting on stage.
Yeah.
Yes, and we will start adding lights to it tomorrow night.
Good, good.
And you will have to be the judges after you see it, whether you've seen everybody's face or not.
All right. Well, we definitely will. So, just talk to us about some differences that the show has based on some other productions that you guys have put on.
This show is a lot easier actually because we're doing it indoors. When we did Julius Caesar outdoors. And when you do an outdoor performance, you have to deal with climate. Last year it rained on our second performance, so we had to cancel that one. We did Romeo and Juliet outdoors in 2007, and it was the earliest snowfall that State College has ever recorded.
Oh,
so
wow.
we had to cancel the last performance of that because it snowed.
Wow.
So this is indoors, it's much more controllable, much more easy to manage, and it's a much safer process for everyone involved.
Right, right. So what's one thing that you think you'll take away from this show as the producer?
The one thing that I'll take away from this show is I'll think twice before I agree to a white set again.
All right. So talk to us about some other production plans you have in the future.
We have a great season coming up.
Yeah.
There is a wonderful book called Be More Chill that has been turned into a musical. And it's only played in New Jersey. It hasn't played in New York yet. So we're leading off our season with Be More Chill. The director, the writer, Joe Iconis, is actually coming to work on the show here with us. So we're very excited about that. We have a full season everything from barbecue to Twelfth Night to
Oh, wow.
American Idiot.
Oh, really?
So we have a very
Oh,
exciting
wow.
season
American
next year.
Idiot. That's a great show. So anything else you want to add about the show, the actors, the process, anything?
No, this has been a great experience for everyone involved. It's
Great.
it's a new director for us. We've never worked with
Oh, wow.
Richard before. He's new faculty with us, so we're excited to see what he's come up with.
Great. Great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for talking with us.
Hey, thank you.
Now that we've heard from the producer, let's check out the next feature, produced by student producers Sydney Farrell and Alec Evans. In this video, director Richard Robichaux explains why he decided to depict Ernest in this particular style.
Richard Robichaux brought his entertainment experience from film and television to the Penn State Theater as director of The Importance of Being Earnest. Richard has several reasons on why he decided to bring Ernest to the pavilion.
It's a great play. First of all, it's one of the few perfect plays where if you take one line out, the whole thing falls apart. It's like dominoes. Another big reason was I think right now in the world, identity is the conversation. So this play, which is about identity and who I am really, and it's written by a man, Oscar Wilde, I think it's important, not just for the education of the students at Penn State, but also for their creative lives to see that this is a struggle, identity, who am I, what's my name, what do I look like, how do I fit in, are questions that artists have been asking for hundreds of years.
Diversity was also a big deal for Richard when recreating this play.
What Penn State does well is that I was able to have a cast that's not just a bunch of white people, I mean, to be really honest. We have a really special program. So the idea to be able to do a play where I could have a diverse cast with a play that was 110 years old, this is a play that the industry may not cast some of these actors in, but they'll do it here. They'll do it here.
Nicole back up to town and told.
Oh, yes, you have.
Good. See, so maybe you jump in now. Now you go in. See, she's been there, so you've had to be.
Besides all of that, there's one thing Richard hopes to get out of the audience.
I hope they laugh. Not all theater has to be about social justice. However, a lot of it is. But hopefully that doesn't happen until you're at the bar later. And as you talk about the play, and as your friends talk about the play, then you go, oh, you know, I think that might mean this. But the way to get to you is to have you bent over laughing. And then it sneaks up on you. It's kind of a multi-layered cake. That, I hope people try to dissect and eat at the bar afterwards, or wherever they go afterwards.
As we saw in the play, Richard Robichaux did a great job conveying his vision to the public.
Originally, Ernest took place in the 19th century England. While keeping Victorian high society in mind, this version was brought into the modern age to appeal and relate to young audiences.
This last video by student producers Yi-Ting Chang and Vito Rinaldi show us what goes into making the set for a play.
Inside the TAPS building are the studios where those in the scenic and technical design majors of the theater department can work on their props and sets. Nicole Hada is the set designer for The Importance of Being Earnest. On her creative team is Parker Sweeney, the props master, and Matthew Lewis, the technical director. To those who are not familiar with the theater, think about it this way. Matthew builds the house, and Parker and Nicole are the interior designers.
The job of the team is to give a visual, validate the concept. We make this concept a reality and convey it in a way that the director wants us to tell this message.
And then it's my job to fill that space. So filling it with furniture, there's a lot of tea sets and food in this show, that sort of thing. Even like what papers would someone have on their desk, those are my responsibilities. And then the logistics of building things with the TD.
I take the artistic design and the ideas behind that, and I relate that into a plan for construction, do budgeting and look at the feasibility of everything, and then figure out how to build it all.
From ceiling lights to big rotating platforms, every detail has been thought out to make sure the whole experience is immersive and is brought to life.
The presentation of of the color, of the shape is, well, the concept that Richard is going for is very much clean, pristine, museum-like quality.
I just hope they're dazzled. I hope I did my job.
I hope everybody enjoys the show, and I guess one of the best things about working in technical theater and going to school for technical theater is that we're actually producing a product that other people get to enjoy. It's not a paper project or just theoretical. We're building a set for a real show that a real audience is going to get to see.
There's a lot more that goes into what is presented on stage in a play. It's not just one person's creation. What we see in front of us is a perfect blend of the creative team's talent and personal flair.
There's a lot to take into consideration when making a scripted play come to life.
We hope you enjoyed discovering the importance of being earnest and the webcast of the play.
From myself, Kiara, and the entire webcast crew, thanks for watching. Good night.